Before it turned terrifying at the suburban house in sunny San Diego.
Every week something was happening, something else was happening.
You have no idea who it could be.
Someone was trying to rape my wife.
It's scary.
Before this young couple took note of every act against them. Before they took desperate measures to protect themselves from spikes on the fence.
It's always on our mind.
That stuff never goes away. To self-defense instruction.
I would kind of think about like the escape route.
Before all that, in the fall of 2011, Jerry Rice, a former competitive swimmer, was teaching special ed classes for kids with autism. Wife Janice Reuter was a microbiologist at a children's hospital. They had one child and another very much on the way.
Right here.
How big out to here were you at the time?
Pretty big out. Yeah. I was about, what, 8, 9 months, I think.
They'd been saving for a house. And thanks to friend and real estate agent Renee Milton, they got one. This one-story house in a peaceful cul-de-sac.
It's a wonderful place where everyone pretty much knows each other. People in the morning go for walks, they take their dogs out, they skip by the park on their way to school.
At $779,000, the house scraped the top of their range. But
it was amazing. It was like, what? This is ours? We were going to raise our family in the house. And we're going to start
really soon.
Yeah.
A home is a big deal. To purchase a home is a huge deal.
Excited for the imminent arrival of daughter Avery, Jerry says he barely noticed the unusual note that would be a kind of introduction to their nightmare, a note that came to the house in their first month here.
It's basically said that someone was willing to offer up to $100,000 to buy our home from us.
$100,000 above the price that you had paid for it.
I threw it in a cupboard. Our daughter was overdue.
Only then, something a little creepy. The house turned up again for sale on the real estate site Zillow under an obviously fake realtor's name, Jacques Arce.
Jerry called me one day and asked me if I had listed their home on Zillow for sale. I couldn't understand who would take a home that we purchased and put it online.
That was the start of an escalating harassment campaign. Next, $1,000 in bills for bladder control products and magazine subscriptions arrived. The mail stopped entirely. There was an online ad for a New Year's Eve party at their home. Tame stuff? Maybe. But the Rices got the ominous big picture. Someone was targeting them and wanted them out.
Who was it that wanted them out of this house so bad? And was it just one person? Someone was trying to harass them to where they would leave this property.
Next, an attempt to get the Rices' neighbors angry with them. A Valentine's Day card, the ideal way to share a little love with that special someone. Only Paul Abel, one of the Rices' neighbors, didn't see it quite that way because the card was sent to his wife, Tanya.
Wait a minute, Paul, it wasn't from you?
It wasn't from me.
What did the Valentine's Day card say, Tanya?
It said, "Love, Jerry Rice."
Paul hadn't even met Jerry yet.
Yeah.
He decided to change that in a hurry.
He got mad, went right out the door and went and knocked on their door. He's not the jealous type, but he left the house in 5 minutes.
Fast. Here's this guy that I have a beautiful wife. She's mine. And who is he sending a Valentine card?
In fact, Valentine's Day cards purportedly signed by Jerry had been sent to every wife in the cul-de-sac.
You know, it's the same thing I said to everyone. I'm really sorry we're getting harassed by someone. Someone obviously hates us.
But who was the hater? With 2 children to protect, Jerry and Janice would never forget the jolt of fear they felt as a cop gave it to them straight.
He said whoever was doing it was probably pretty sick. They were probably watching. And that sent chills down my back. Having the police officer tell me that, you know, we need to watch out for our children.
It's scary. We were very suspicious of everyone.
Jerry sprang into action. He locked the mailbox and set up surveillance.
We didn't know who was messing with us, and they could be coming up to our front door. So we put up security cameras.
This gate offered extra security, but week by week, their sense of siege worsened. What next? Who was watching? It all haunted Jerry.
He became very distant and really focused on trying to protect our family. He would be up a lot during the night.
Check all the locks around the house and then check on the kids.
What was it like one of those nights when you just sort of ask yourself, why is this happening to us?
Janice asked that a lot. Why is this happening to us? And I was more concerned of who was doing this and where they were going to attack us next.
They turned to cops as they braced for the next attack, never imagining how shocking it would be.
This is your picture, and these are the words underneath it. Carmel Valley Freak Show. Come see me during the day while my husband is at work, and we can get our freak on.
You know, my stomach dropped. I was like, oh, okay, now my photo's on there. That's very personal.
And your home address, where your children live.
Right.
Then, while at work, Jerry got an urgent message from the police.
To come back to the house because they had some information to share with us, and they wanted me there with Janice.
Men had responded to that online ad and been in touch with someone pretending to be Janice. This is what one of them had been told.
Just stop by any Monday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I like the element of surprise. Someone pretending to be you.
Right.
Did it occur to you at that moment how much danger?
Oh, yeah.
Who was that strange man at the front door? And who was behind it all? By this time, they had growing suspicion. Remember that long-forgotten note dropped off months earlier from an unsuccessful buyer who was offering $100,000 above the Rice's purchase price for their house? Was that a clue?
What was the name on that document?
Kathy Rowe?
When Janice searched Kathy Rowe on Facebook, she recoiled in horror. She'd seen that face before, at her front door, on Halloween.
Immediately, I remembered her coming to our house, her and her daughter trick-or-treating.
Coming up, cops start looking at the bitter bidder.
I have never seen anything like this in my time as a prosecutor.
And Kathy Rowe, outbid, outraged, and out to get even?
When I walked in, it felt like my house.
Yeah, but it wasn't your house.
Stay with us.
2020 continues with Real Estate Roulette. Once again, Chris Connolly.
It needed work, but don't we all? When the single-story house with a pool in San Diego's Carmel Valley came up for sale, a lot of families wanted it. Married couple Jerry Rice and Janice Reuter got it. This woman, Kathy Rowe, then a 50-year-old unassuming wife and mother, was among those who didn't get the house. That just didn't seem right. At least if you were Kathy Rowe, it didn't.
I had put so much hope into this house. I walked in, it was my house.
Yeah, but it wasn't your house.
No, but it felt like the house I always wanted to own. And when I found out we didn't get it, it was devastating, it was heartbreaking. It was almost like the loss of a loved one. It was that critical to me.
Kathy Rowe had a job with the county, had a very ill husband, she said, and had a Mother of the Year award for being the sole caregiver looking after their severely disabled daughter, Rachel. That house, though.
It had more significance than just a structure with 4 walls. When I lost it, I cried and cried.
Kathy Rowe also had enough bank to offer $100,000 more for Jerry and Janice's home. When they failed to respond to the note she sent them, she launched a harassment campaign, stopping their mail, relisting the house on Zillow, sending those phony Valentines. Oh, and at the outset, coming by the house with her daughter on Halloween.
You wanted to see who was in the house, didn't you?
I had no interest in them. I was more curious what they had done to the house.
Who came to the door when you trick-or-treated?
The wife.
The wife, Janice, whose photo Kathy Rowe would later put on this Carmel Valley Freak Show online ad, inviting men to stop by anytime.
I was jealous, destroyed, and devastated with pain and depression and...
Why did that result in your lashing out at innocent people?
I don't... That's the form that it took.
You enjoyed this, didn't you?
No.
You enjoyed making these people suffer.
Well, I thought it was funny. I did not view it as suffering.
But when men responded to the ad, Kathy Rowe wrote them back, fueling the fire, providing specific and perverse encouragement to one 25-year-old male looking for fun with a totally unaware Janice.
I'm going to leave out the dirty words here. This is someone pretending to be you. I'm pretty much home all day, every day, bored and incredibly horny. I love to be surprised and have a man just show up at the door and force his way in the door and on me, totally taking me while I say no. Janice, what is the person who is writing this trying to do to you?
She wanted me raped.
This is my wife they're talking about. There's no mistaking the intent there.
Then, for the Rices, the ultimate nightmare. Another man did show up at the house, only Janice wasn't home. Jerry met him at the front door.
He thought he was going to walk in and have his way with your wife.
Yeah, I knew something was off with the guy.
Flummoxed, the man fled and emailed Kathy Rowe. A guy was there, had to make up an excuse why I was there. But Kathy Rowe wouldn't let it go and urged him to return to the house with another sordid scenario.
I remember what you said. It's like, I hope it's okay with you, I see other guys.
Right.
And you ask about threesomes.
Well, he had no interest in being involved if there was any other man involved.
You're the luckiest person in the world because of that, aren't you?
It never even crossed my mind that a man could go to the house and hurt her.
Probably should have, shouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I normally am more concerned about other people's safety and welfare than my own.
Yeah, not so much this time.
Absolutely not this time. It's just how impaired my thinking was.
Kathy insisted we also speak to her psychologist, Sage Breslin, Ph.D., who largely attributes Kathy's actions and state of mind to excessive sleep deprivation, brought on in part by her round-the-clock care for her daughter.
It isn't one of those things where you sleep for a couple of days and then you feel better. Sleep deprivation makes the person get crazy.
I think we can understand the mental pain you were in, you know, and I think we can understand the sleeplessness as well. What's hard for us to understand is how thousands of families go through everything you were going through, and they don't lash out at innocent people.
I think people have resiliency by their support network, by their family, by their friends. I didn't have those.
She was kind of playing Russian roulette with my family, you know. There's no question in my mind she would get the right person at the right moment to come to the house and things would have happened.
Things happened all right. Catch, the high-tech law enforcement task force, connected the dots between those sexed-up online solicitations in Janice's name and Kathy Rowe's computer.
We identified Miss Rowe through search warrants to Yahoo, and then that led to the identification of the residence.
The Heat paid Kathy Rowe a visit. Eventually, she admitted to it all. Initially, she faced the possibility of 9 years in prison after many months of legal wrangling and a new life as a media sensation.
Kathy Rowe tried to... Kathy Rowe seemed...
a major fall from grace.
She copped a plea to felony stalking and apologized to the Rices.
All the things that I've put them through, the stress, the lack of privacy, I'm just very sorry.
I think that you said that you didn't want to hurt them. I think that's exactly what you wanted to do, was to hurt them for buying the house that you wanted.
I was sentenced to 1 year of confinement on a home ankle monitor and 5 years of probation.
She actually is going to be watched a lot longer than she would have if she served some jail time.
Kathy continues to have the responsibility for her daughter. Her daughter has maybe 100 to 150 medical appointments on an annual basis. Kathy has lost her job. She is the only person holding this family together at this point in time.
I may be the least liked person in San Diego County. A horrible, evil person who wanted to harm this nice couple. And
in what way is that incorrect?
I did not intend to harm them.
Apologies aside, Janice and Jerry are still afraid.
I believe that Miss Rowe continues to be a dangerous person because of her skills of manipulation and her ability to lie. You know, I kind of think she has more of a reason now to attack us. So, obviously, you know, we're very concerned for the family.
Oh, and speaking of families, Kathy Rowe bought a new home for her family, just 1 mile away from Jerry and Janice's place.